Well, hello. I'm alive. I'm live. Let's see who jumps in. We're just doing an impromptu stream. This is not scheduled. Whoever's there, join in. I'm going to put the chat up. How do we do this? We go there. All right. We're going to get the chat happening. Pop out chat. Copy the link. Find the URL bit. Here we go. It's going to happen quicker than you can say. Jack Robinson. All right. Is it going to work? Boom, ba-dum, ba-dum. Okay, there's the chatties on that side. Jump in and chat, whoever's on. Nobody's on just yet. It's okay, we'll just wait until someone turns up. This is very impromptu. This is me streaming 12 hours-ish when I don't normally stream. So there'll probably be nobody in the UK. They'll be all asleep. There'll be people in Australia, hopefully, that can watch this. Let's see. Now, have I got this working? Let's get this working. Da, 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 da. Come on. Trying to get the social side of things below me to connect. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, that is all rock and roll. All right, one person's in. Let's see how many we can get. Hello, everybody. We're just going to do a chat and see what happens. Yeah, I got a YouTube message today. Let's see if I can dig it up. How do we get this up? I get YouTube comments multiple times a day, but this is just purely me wanting to see, how do I get this up? Dashboard. Comment. Okay. Why don't I snippet this? There we go. Save that. Put that into here. News. Comment. Done. Okay, go back to my stream, make sure it's one person's watching. Who's that one person? Jump on in. Comment. Bang. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to... Foxy! How are you, mate? This is the comment that I got today. It's not anything unusual. This is just person's name there. When I produce sound on the equipment connecting to the MX1, the sound comes out on the connected monitors on the MX1. When I record the track on Ableton connected to the MX1 and play the track on Ableton, I cannot hear the sound on the monitors connected to the MX1. It's an interesting one. So basically, that one's an easy one. It's just your connections inside Ableton. You haven't set up the PC back to the MX1 side of it. So that's actually covered in that same video that you've just commented on. So just make sure you set up the PC connection, which is track 17 and 18. Anyway, let's see if we can get this chat window working a bit better. Foxy, nice of you to join us, mate. Let's have a look here. I can never seem to get this chat window working properly. So that's this one here. Because it's zoomed. Reset. That's okay. Panning. What's that? Ah, okay, right. So it's because of that. Gotcha. There you go. Beautiful. 2:38 a.m. What the hell, mate? You need to go back to sleep. It must be insomnia or something. That's crazy. Anyway, we're just going to have a chat. I mean, I'm at home, so nothing else to do. We're only going to be on for a little bit, 20 minutes or so. Let's have a chat. I've got kids running around the house. They're all, it's daytime here where I am. So, yeah. Just wanted to see what would happen if I just do an unscheduled stream and see what people would come up, who would jump in. I don't normally do this time zone because there's a lot of people on my channel that are based in Europe and the UK that follow me, but this is more the US and Australia on the East Coast time zone. So it's only 9:40 a.m. here in my part of the world, which is pretty respectable time. So join us in the chat. We're going to have a chat, and that's you guys there chatting. So make sure you do join us. Okay, what I'm actually going to try and do is I'm going to talk about a couple of things that I've got planned, and hopefully this may be of interest to everybody. A couple of videos I've got actually ready to set up and rock and roll. First one is I'm actually going to be doing a video on this, which is the Volca Sample. Now, there's a couple of things that has come out recently about the Volca Sample that is really interesting. The first one is that I've got the RetroKits RK002 cable, so we can do the Volca Sample using that cable. I'm also going to pull out the BeatStep Pro and show how you can use the Volca Sample with the BeatStep Pro. And also there's a new firmware, unofficial firmware for the Volca Sample that's only just come out in the last week. So I'm going to check that out as well. So there'll probably be a bit of Volca Sample, content. If that helps people, I don't know. Anyway, that's all ready to roll. I haven't got it plugged in audio yet. I've got to get a cable from the bin behind me. But yeah, I thought I'd show that. And while we're chatting, we can talk about stuff. Yeah, 3 people in, not very many. This is a very quiet stream. It's very impromptu anyway. So, but I can pop your comment, like Foxy's comment just here. I'll just add that, and it just pops up below, so I can highlight comments if you want. So that makes things easy. So yeah, jump in. Beautiful. What else can I show you guys while we're waiting for some people to pop in? It always takes a while for the people to realize I'm streaming. So, all right, let's have a quick look at, go back to this view, and can bring up, what can I do? I can bring up this. So this is my, so behind me, just behind me here, I should say that side just there where my thumb is my live jam setup. And a lot of people sort of ask me, how do you set it up? And I don't know, I'm always constantly talking about it, but it's never a bad thing to show and talk about. So I've got the Blackmagic A10 Mini, and I'll show you that now. Let me just grab my controller. Here we go. So you can see the Blackmagic A10 Mini. It's like a video switcher, a HDMI video switcher. So you can see all the HDMI cables coming out the top of it. That's the black with the white and yellow lights on it. It's just above, on the little sort of tier above the MPC Live there, you'll see it. So I can actually control that from there itself when I'm playing a live jam. So I just hit the 1 to 4 buttons, it will change my camera angle. So just hitting those buttons will change my camera angles like this. Ooh, I've got a camera off. Okay, fair enough. Go turn that camera on in a sec. Yeah, turn it on now. Let's see. So GoPros, so it takes a couple of seconds to turn on. There you go, and just move that to there. There you go. 4th camera. So you can fit 4 cameras in. They don't have to be camera. You can also do static images as well. A whole bunch of some cool gear. But that is the setup. And I can change those cameras, obviously. They don't have to be cameras either. You can actually connect your computer up to it and use the HDMI output of your computer. You can have anything that has an HDMI output, actually. Gaming console. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so I use that to do live jams, and there's a live jam obviously I'm recently just uploaded on my channel, so you know, definitely check that out. If you've got any questions about this, just ask them now. I mean, there's a couple of people in. Better cable management? I don't think so. Yeah, like, how can I show better cable management? It's pretty bad. Yeah, where's the... Let me just turn that off for a sec. You can just see from that view, you can see the cables are just really all sort of shoved behind. So they're just kind of all shoved down behind. Behind all this gear here, which is kind of 45 degree or, you know, 20, 25 degree, whatever it is, that there's all cables behind that. So you can just shove them. And it looks neat, but trust me, it's never that neat. There's heaps of cables hanging around behind here. As always, there's cables here. You can see them just at the top of the screen as well. So yeah, one of the problems with hardware is cables, isn't it? It's definitely a problem. Master audio is coming out of the MX1. It definitely is. Yep. Yeah. Now I've got this stream set up with what they call ultra low latency. How you going, Ron? Thanks for the question. Yeah, so master audio is coming out of the MX1, and it goes straight into the. Let's get a better view, guys. For you guys, I'll go back down to here, press this button, and then I go to. So I've got a couple of mouse clicks to get to it, but on the left-hand side, just there, is a 3.5mm input. And you can see this little orange light here on. That's this little bunch of 4 buttons here is your audio control on the actual controller. And let me just, I'll share my screen on the PC here. And I'll just show you what the actual local software looks like for the A10 Mini. Okay, let's do this. So this is actually the software control. Let me turn that off. And so I can change cameras and everything with my mouse here, camera 1 to camera 4. But the other cool thing, it's actually got a pretty decent audio mixer side. So if I start playing stuff, well, that is peaking like anything. You can bring all that down. So you can see you've got, you know, your standard audio sort of controls. And don't know if I've got audio coming through at the moment, but anyway, that's okay. You don't have to hear it. You've got equalizer. You can go in and muck around with the equalizer controls. So this is just all in the A10 Mini. You've got dynamics. So you've got compressor, expander, gate limiters. That's all there. That's just in the A10 Mini controller, which I think is pretty cool. And just go back to that view there. So you don't actually have that many controls on the hardware itself. So yeah, definitely really, really cool. Let's go back to the chat window. So yeah, the output of the MX1, the main output goes straight into the back of the A10 Mini. I just press stop. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to highlight that, add to queue, view queue, and that question should just pop below. That's really cool, nice setup. All right, so what else can we do? Just checking the stream. Yeah, so I just want to check out to see how quickly these comments come from when you actually type them to when you actually see me. So do you guys want to just quickly type something and I'll read it, and I'll just see, I want to see what the latency's like. So type something, anything, and hit enter in the comment section. I just want to check it out, see what the latency's like. Test. Let's see how quick that was. It's hello. It's pretty quick. So I wonder what I reckon it's probably about 5 seconds. About 15, you reckon? Wow, okay. I guess it does depend on a few things. Ultra low latency is what I've got. This is supposed to be the most real-time connection that you can get. Normally when I do streams, I just have it at low latency. This one I've got it ultra low because I just wanted to interact with you guys and chat a bit more. So yeah. Ron, tell us a little bit about yourself. Whereabouts are you, in what part of the world? Obviously don't go into any sort of private details, just city, country. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Foxy's just told us that he's up late, 2 or 3 in the morning in his part of the world. So I'm guessing he's in Europe somewhere. Yeah, so we are just going to just chew the breeze. Yeah, so I can just keep talking about stuff while you guys are watching. It's a bit low, the bit rate, they reckon, on my stream. I don't know why they're saying it's low. Stream health. Texas, software engineer. Stuck in the house? Yeah. Aren't we all stuck? I'm actually a software engineer as well. So there you go. Basically computer science background. This is my hobby, the music side of stuff. So I absolutely love the tech side of music. It's good that you're still working, Foxy. Yeah, that's awesome. As a gardener, yeah, that's a good one to be, because it's an isolated sort of job, isn't it? You don't really need people around you to do gardening. That's awesome. Actually, I've got some weeds to pull out in my garden if you want to fly over here and do it. Yeah, get back to the software engineering for Ron. Yeah, my background is computer science, tertiary qualified, and yeah, I kind of worked a lot in the web sort of side of software engineering. Did a lot of web development with Microsoft and Linux type platforms, and all the way back many years ago I started doing it. In the early days I started with things like Perl and using things like CGI and Perl in old days of web browsing. And these days I do kind of more modern things, using things like jQuery and Ajax, and it's not that modern, but more sort of Web 2 stuff, HTML5. So I do that sort of stuff, and yeah, it's interesting kind of work. So the thing about software and knowing about how to code and that is the cool thing about the music industry is there's a lot of kind of real nerdy side of it, like the MIDI, hexadecimal side, and you've also got things like making your own DIY Arduino kits and things like that. So you can really get yourself immersed in that sort of nerdy side of it, which is what I love. So you started with Linux and Perl too. Cool. And yeah, I did PHP as well. Still do actually muck around with PHP. So yeah, awesome. Now you're all Microsoft stack and yeah. There's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of kind of platform-based development now, where you use a platform and you develop within that interface environment. So the days are gone where you start things from scratch, which is kind of cool and kind of not cool at the same time. When I learned how to program at university, I learned the first language I learned was C. So it's going back a bit, 1990s. And you know, it's almost a dying language that now. And obviously I don't really use it that much anymore, but still definitely remember how to use it, that's for sure. There's a lot of need for C developers. Like I was recently working with Behringer last year when they brought out the MS101, which is the Roland SH101 clone, and I was helping with the developer in China, and the platform that they used for the digital side, you know, things like the sequencer and that, is on an ARM Cortex CPU, and that's all written in C. So yeah, that was interesting, and so it got me back into that sort of world pretty quickly. The comments are scrolling off the bottom of the screen now, so I'm going to try and fix that. I don't like how it does that. I was kind of mucking around with it before, and so we've got to pull that up there, and no, not there. I don't know. It's got to try. I've got to try and work out how to get this thing fixed. Okay, so we don't necessarily want that, but we do want that, and then we can bring that to about there. There we go, and then we can fix it to about there. Yeah, as you guys put more comments in, that should scroll a bit more. I don't know if that's actually, I probably want to move that down. This is just all teething problems that you have when you're trying to put chat windows inside other chat windows, and just I'm using vMix if you're wondering what I use to stream. vMix is a you know, virtual television studio type software. It costs a fair bit of money. It cost me about it was about $700-800 US for this particular version. You can get it cheaper, but yeah. Also, if you ever watch Sonic State, they use vMix as well. So yeah, cool. And I was really hoping that I would catch a couple of people in the US, because it's not an audience that I normally get, because normally my streams are 12 hours later and on Saturdays. So this is what, Tuesday at I guess it's kind of, at some parts of the US it's around 10 p.m. and in other parts of the US it's earlier. So, and I've got Dazza. And actually this time I've got Dazza, and he's not going to be tired. How you going, mate? Dazza, you can call in if you want, mate. I'll message you if you've got time. That is, I'll message you on Facebook and you can call in. Let me just get your details up. He's awake. Yes. So in Texas, it's 8:57 p.m. Yeah, because you're kind of like Central Time, aren't you, over there? You're in your underwear. Just come in when you're ready. Let me just message in the stream chat that you know what I'm talking about. I'll message you the. You can come in under one of the calls. Where are we? Try that one. Sorry guys, I'm just setting something up. There you go. Normally you come in under Skype. I haven't got Skype running at the moment, so this will be a new thing for you. A new thing, definitely a new thing. Yeah. When's my next stream? Foxy, every Saturday at 2 p.m. UTC time. So that's Greenwich Mean Time, you know, the London time basically. Well, it's not really London time at the moment because they've got daylight savings. So it's 2 p.m. UTC. So in your part of the world, it'll be around 1:45, depending on where you are. If you're in Germany, it's an hour later, or 2. I think you got daylight savings in Germany now. 2 hours later. Yeah, but you can work it out. If you go 2 p.m. UTC in your part of the world, you'll work out what time. Just Google it; it'll tell you. Yeah. Central Standard Time. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So always Saturdays. The thing is, I've been doing Saturdays at 2 p.m. UTC for a year, and I just think I can get, really, it's like pretty late for me to do that stream at that time, but I can get all of Europe, and I catch the east coast of the US early in the morning. So I get most of the world. The only people that miss out really are the east coast of Australia and the west coast of the US, South America. So I miss out on, you know, a fair slice of the world, but the most population I'm getting in that. So that's why I've chosen the 2 p.m. UTC time. I've chosen a Saturday because Saturdays are, you know, most people are sort of bumming around on a Saturday. But at the moment, everyone's bumming around every day. And we're all sort of locked down. Hopefully no one catches this nasty virus that's out there. You have to fix that chat window again. It's just annoying. So what have I got to do? I've got to uncrop that, and I've got to pan that up. It's getting a bit annoying, isn't it? How I've got to keep fixing it. Pan it up a bit more, and then crop it down a bit more from here. There we go. That looks a bit better. Good. There's only 4 people in. It's nice and quiet, but that's all right. You know. Wonder if all us software developers will work mostly remotely after this. I think it's a good challenge for the world at the moment. I think that, speaking of being a software engineer and a software developer, I think the biggest challenge is, if you want to sort of bring this into a music sort of topic, is a couple of weeks ago I did a stream on online collaboration, and we were kind of looking at all the different things that are out there, and there really isn't anything that does a real-time sort of collaboration. Obviously you've got latency, that's your issue, and you know, we looked at kind of all the different options with that. But I think the big thing is that I think that's a challenge. I think there's a challenge for software developers to come up with something, and at the same time I think there's also a challenge for people that work in streaming and you know, codecing and compression, to come up with a better way to handle audio in live stream sort of formats. Because at the moment, the most I'm getting on this stream is 320 kilobits per second MP3. Now that's compressed, that's lossy, that's nasty. It's probably the best you can get out of an MP3, but it's not, you know, it's not a lossless format, for example, and there are compressed lossless formats out there. So I would really like to challenge those who make streaming algorithms to stop affecting the audio side to benefit the video side. Us people who are in the music industry, we care more about the quality of the audio. And a good example is, if you watch Netflix, you'll notice that Netflix has got really high quality audio. And so, you know, take a leaf out of their, you know, go talk to their software developers, because, you know, I would love to have streaming where the video is not so much the priority, the audio is the priority, and we're getting a much better sort of set up that way. Just one sec, got a message from the wife. Sorry, I've just got to tell her something. So let me fix that. If you hear noises in the background, I've got kids home. They're all homeschooled at the moment, so I do apologise, but that's life. So yeah, I think, yeah, Foxy said, I think life's going to change a lot after all this, and in a positive way. I do too. I do. I think, without getting too political, I think countries are going to be more self-sufficient. I think that we've learnt a big lesson about relying on exporting and importing. I think that's definitely going to happen, but with just keeping it sort of in tune with the music industry, and we can be geeky around that. I think there's going to be some development definitely in that side. It's annoying how they just really, it's almost like audio is the unfavored out of the two. If you had a brother and a sister, and brother was called audio and a sister was called video, well, the parents favor the sister, the daughter. It's kind of annoying. So the challenge I want to put out there to people who are getting paid to develop streaming codec and streaming algorithms, please stop buggering up the audio. Make the audio lossless, or at least like an AAC, at least, wave. I mean, internet connections these days, they're massive. You could literally stream a wave file with complete raw audio across the internet, and you wouldn't have too much problems hearing that. It's not that high a bit rate. It's really not. You can just do a bit of math and you can work it out. But yeah, the reason is, I've been told the reason why they feel they can get away with reducing the audio is because if you're just using voice, which is what I'm using right now, there's no need for that quality to be really, really high. But when you think about it, we do use voice. I'm using voice right now, but a lot of the stuff that we do now video-wise is actually quite multimedia. It's not just voice. There's music. There's visuals. It's the whole lot. So it doesn't make any sense. You're right, Ron. I definitely agree with you. And it's a bit of a shame because, there's two things I would dearly love to do. One is I'd love to do a live stream where I can jam with my buddies and the world can watch that. And you've got videos of them, videos of me, all collaborating together on a live stream, and the world can sit back and watch. I would love that to be, like a format where you're hearing it in beautiful quality sound coming basically like at least 48K out the back of your mixer, at least, even if we had to skip down to 44.1, that'd be all right, I guess. But 48K would be nice. And, just have that sort of quality and that low latency. We'll have things to work around latency and delay. I'm not too worried about that side of it. There's ways you can have click tracks and things. There's ways to work around it. Like you can start a bar later. There's things, that already been around there. Yeah, it'd be nice if YouTube could give you a preference. At the moment, it's just 320. And don't forget, though, what I'm talking about is just the streaming side. So with audio quality, if you upload a video, that's different. So that will be dependent on 1080p or higher. They give you the highest audio quality on this AAC at H.264 codec. So it's not bad. So in that sense, you're actually getting pretty decent quality there. But, excuse me. But the quality of the stream, that's where we want to improve it. So yeah, anyway, that's the challenge, I think. So I'm actually, today I was talking to my cousin, and he lives over on the other side of Australia, and he was asking me how do I want to jam with some people, and he was using Zoom, and he was thinking about using Facebook, and he was playing a guitar, and he said it sounded compressed and warbly, and I said it's not because of what you're doing, it's because of Zoom. Zoom will compress your audio because they really only care about the voice, and the voice is the frequency range of a voice is a lot of the mid, right? And so they can compress everything else out just to sort of let that mid through. It makes the bandwidth tunnel. You got more room for video, and they do that because that's what they've been told to do. But really, it's not really. I don't think it's favourable these days. Mums and dads who want to call their parents, or kids want to call, do you know what I mean? Like those video sort of calls. I reckon there should be kind of like two types of, streaming platforms. There should be the video call platform, and then there should be the multimedia streaming platform. And I think you should be able to choose which one you want. And then multimedia will give that audio tunnel a nice, perfect, pure pass through. I think that'll be good. Phone. I don't get this, Foxy. Phones, the absolute crap speakers in phones. Headphones aside, you can get some decent headphones into a phone, and even the ones now that are Bluetooth, because they've got rid of the headphone socket out of most of the phones now. There's some really, really good quality Bluetooth headphones out there, but listening to it actually on the speaker of your phone, it's just absolute, it's murder, isn't it? I've tried listening to my jams on my phone, and it must be a mixing nightmare to try and have your jam sound good on your phone through your phone speaker. Try it one day. You'll just think to yourself, did I mix that how's my snare sound? Yeah, it's crazy. You do know what you're talking about. No, that's the thing, we do. We have, even if you're not working in the industry and you've got, you do know what you're talking about. You have these thoughts that pop in your head gee, that didn't sound very good. That is exactly where we do, and we pick up on those thoughts, and then we take those thoughts and we research and find out why it actually did sound like crap, because that's the whole thing. So I would love, as I said, I would love if they could just fix the audio side up, and there's codecs out there already that have been developed that let audio through in a lossless format. So just use that. Just pay a license, or if it's open source, use that codec. There's FLAC, there's OGG, there's quite a few. So anyway, we're digressing, but what do you guys think of, I was talking before about the Volca Sample. What do you guys think of the Volca Sample? Do any of you guys have the Volca Sample? I actually haven't got it plugged in at the moment. It's just a little speaker. Talking about bad sounding speakers. Nothing like a cowbell sound. Where's that pitch? Is that pitch here? The question is, why don't they fix it? Well, I think we answered that, but they don't really have a good reason. We don't have a good reason. So I'm actually quite excited to try out the RK002 cable with the Volca Sample, and also I'll get the BeatStep Pro, not the KeyStep. This is the KeyStep here, but I'll get the BeatStep Pro out and we'll try that out, and also the new firmware that's come out. I think I had a little graphic, the firmware. If you missed out on the stream last week or last Saturday, we did talk about this a little bit. So there's some of the new features, the new unofficial. This is not Korg's actual firmware. This is someone who's hacked it. It's unofficial, but you can play now chromatic. So you can actually upload a sample to your Volca Sample and play it chromatically. I don't know what the voice count limit is and all that, so don't get down that path yet with me. But there's a heap of MIDI and interesting kind of settings. Maybe it's 8 voice. I don't know. But even still, that's actually better than, you know. So yeah. Yeah, I've got an MPC Live too, man. You know, I've had the Volca Sample longer than I've had the MPC Live. They are completely two different things though. Volca Sample is really just a sample player. And the MPC Live is a proper sampler, isn't it? You know, that's a proper sampler. So that thing there is just amazing. You know, probably one of the best bit of music equipment I've ever owned. Notice also I've got an Electron Octatrack. So I'm a bit of a sample freak. I love my samplers. I've also got Korg Electro 2 sampler. You know, there's quite a few samplers I've got. I love them. Calling in. All right, cool. Don't forget to do it on vMix call, like I said in the chat, in the Facebook chat. This is Dazza I'm talking to here. Yeah, Ron, I use the Octatrack probably to its very, very small degree at the moment, because I'm trying to get the MPC Live and the Octatrack working together. So I kind of, yeah. In my last jam video, I used it purely as a drum machine. It's so cool to use an Octatrack as a drum machine, by the way. It's so quick to get beats going on that thing. That's actually a strong point. Probably it's a different workflow than it is on the MPC, but it's very, very quick to get beats going. Dazza, are you calling in on the vMix call? So you've got to go through your browser. You've done this before with me. I'm not seeing you in yet. I'm not seeing any video yet. Where are we going? Oh yeah, I can see you now. Okay, let's get you. I can't hear you yet though. Yeah, you got to get your mic. Okay, cool. Let me just fix up your lower third name. Just give me a sec, guys. I'm just going to get Dazza in on here. So okay. Now, just so you guys can see what I'm up to. There's Dazza plugging his mic in. Say hi to the 4 people that are watching me in the world right now. What we'll do is we'll get Dazza up on this view. Oh, we're going to change that. So we're going to change that to there, and we're going to change that to there. Cool. So we can switch. We can, once you get yourself up and running, mate, with the mic, we'll switch back to that view. Just let us know. Cool, cool. Just do a bit of a test on your audio, mate, and then we can hear it, and we'll put you in. Did I get Foxy's asking? Did I get the Akai oscillator? Yes, I did. I did. It's I actually showed it on the stream a couple of weeks ago. It's on my iPad. That's awesome how that's free. That's really, really cool. I've actually got an original Akai oscillator as well. So just so you guys know, there's really not a lot of stuff that you're missing out on with the hardware now with that. Still waiting on Daz's audio. No. Audio interface. You may have to restart your browser, mate. Cool, cool. Anyway, that's all right. We'll keep plodding along. Plodding along. I like doing this. This is really cool. We're stuck at home, you know. What else can we do? We can chat. It's fun. Still can't get your audio. You can do like in sign language. Do sign language. Oh, I hear it. I hear it.
You
Yeah.
Yo, can you hear that?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, I knew I did something right.
You got stack. You got a stack of reverb.
I'm going. Yeah, it's because of this SPR8. Hang on. Where's the effects here? Effects, compressor, or it may not be because of that. Still got the effects. Where's the effects here? We're obviously going through some kind of global AD performance home. How is everyone today? I'll just work in the background here.
We're going good, mate. Thanks for joining in. It's actually nice to have you that you're not like a zombie.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm not normally like a zombie, am I? Jeez.
No, you're not. I was just joking.
It was good. It was good to watch you interacting with the chat without having anyone else on camera to talk with. You mentioned that during the last stream, and it's good to see you practicing.
Yeah, so I thought I'd give it a go.
I was just listening for a good while there.
Yeah, it's actually quite good fun to do. You know, you just, as long as you've got something next to you, like having that next to you is actually pretty cool. So yeah, it's actually good fun. And don't forget, you know, if you are watching and you've just popped into the stream, jump into the live chat because we are talking. This is all about just a chat. It's just a chat. There's no topic. It's ask anything if you want. You know, be nice though. And like I said earlier, we don't normally stream this time of the day. It's purely just to catch people more probably on the east coast of Australia. Hopefully we're getting some Australians watching, and also the west coast of the US. So that's what that's about. And Daz has joined us, so it's not just me on my own. I don't feel like I'm some loner. It's actually awesome. I love this. You know, what 10, 20 years ago we wouldn't have been able to do this. This is a cool thing about technology. I love it.
And you were just talking about how I've still got a real reverby sound, haven't I? I'm not sure where that reverb's coming from. I'll have to figure it out when you're having your turn to talk. But you were just saying about having better quality audio for streaming and being able to perform across the internet. And we just know that this is coming. It's maybe a couple of years away, but it's people like you that are going to push the frontier and push those companies and give them the feedback that they need to prioritize audio over picture and get rid of this horrible reverb. But I think they're working on the principle that a picture paints 1,000 words, so therefore the image is really important to people. But from my experience, I'm in the habit of actually watching videos at really low resolution, often at 240p. I don't usually need the picture if it's a talking head, like you're just looking at my face right now. There's not much to see. So yeah, we don't need a high quality picture, but we'd love to play high quality audio.
Even with this, your call rate is your audio bit rate is 64 kilobits per second. It's using a protocol called ODEC, I think it's called. And the thing is, when 64 kbps on ODEC is actually double what an MP3 is. So it's like having a 128k MP3, which is actually reasonable. If you think about the days of Napster, the early days of MP3, we were quite happy with 128k. So in that case, I'm actually it's not too bad. Like, this is why I always thought the vMix platform was always quite hopeful, because it does use that WebRTC and it uses that that protocol. We are getting a bit technical, but I did get some information about that actually.
Check.
Yeah, we can hear you, mate.
I don't know where this reverb's coming from. It's got to be one. It's got to be one of these devices.
That's funny. Okay, let me see if I can find. You can hear my kids in the background. I do apologise.
Yeah.
But nothing I can do about it. Life goes on.
That proves that you're human. That's good.
Well, we have to homeschool them now, so you know.
Yeah.
They
probably learn more in 3 weeks with you guys than 6 months at school.
Well, I've got a 16-year-old, I've got a 11-year-old, and I've got a 5-year-old. So I've got early childhood, middle school, and senior high school, all happening at the same time.
Are they interested in music?
One of them is.
Yeah.
So that's all right. It's better than none.
Do they come in the studio and have a play?
Yeah.
Are they,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I imagine there'd be projects for school where they could compose things, or even
buses going past now.
The next generation is going to have so many options available to them that creating a song or creating a video will just be as natural as turning your phone on. Whereas we think of it as a really specialist skill. In future, you'll just be able to create whatever. I saw a video this morning, and it was some stuck at home with the kids, and they had the toddlers singing into a microphone with auto-tune and a bit of delay and reverb, and it sounded really good. Little like one-year-old just making noises, and the dad had put a beat behind it. Very creative.
Yeah, Roland are pretty active in that development. So they have brought out some sort of app-based, and so there's a bit of hardware and there's an app that marries to the hardware. So who knows, they could end up being the leaders in it. They definitely are in the video sphere as well, because you can get video switches and things like that as well. But as you know, I actually love the Blackmagic. That A10 Mini thing that I bought. I have to say, I mean, I'm not being paid to say this or anything, but that is just insanely good. Like, seriously, that has made my life so much easier to produce live jams. Like, seriously, I don't know how to describe it, but the ability for me, I can just hit any one of those 4 buttons and I get these different camera angles, and I can just hit them in the middle of a jam. It doesn't take really much thought to do it. I just, play and then hit the button. As long as I remember to do it sort of reasonably, either you do it regularly because you haven't got anything to show, or if you've got an instrument in the way I've set my cameras up, it's kind of like quadrants. I've got 4 different cameras. So if I know I'm playing something like, for example, on this side, the strike fed or the rocket, I'll hit camera 1. So I'm just, I'm here.
Yeah. So it becomes an extra part of
So you can see me actually a bit clearer and close up to the gear, or there's the Novation peak there. Do you know what I mean? So it becomes part of your performance, which is the cool side.
Yeah,
of it.
I've been watching the videos. They look really good. You've still got one issue with one camera there. I just saw it when you went through the cameras.
Yeah, I need to change the setting.
Far side there, it's like, I don't know what that is called, that effect.
It's frame rate. It's just a frame rate. So you've got LED lights. They're either running at 50 or 60 hertz, depending on what type of power connection you've got. And then whether you're on PAL or NTSC, it'll fix it.
Yeah. So that's a GoPro over there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it could be like 24 frames or something like that, which is just off to the 50 hertz or something.
Yeah. That's it. And I'll, when I get off my butt and decide to go into the settings of that GoPro, I'll fix it. But it's kind of low priority.
Yeah. I'm just pointing it out. Just trying to help. How's the chat going? I can't really keep up with it all.
I think you were the last person that talked. There's 4 people on the stream right now. It's pretty quiet. Like I said, it's not a time that I don't normally stream. So there probably wouldn't be a lot of people on my channel that would be in this time zone. So,
And what you were saying about doing Saturday night, for a year, you've built up momentum with that regular appearance.
Yeah.
I think you only had about 2 weeks off or something in the year, which is a really good effort, and the algorithm is obviously like going to respond to that.
Yeah, I think so.
Promoting, and you've got your regular people that turn up, which is really good.
Yeah.
But how exciting will it be? How exciting will it be when we can perform with better quality audio and people can show what's going on in their rooms and get it out there?
Well, I mean, even right now, it's not bad. Like if you do it through YouTube, it's 320k. That's not bad. I'm not complaining. What I would actually like though is I would like your connection coming to me to be 320k. That's really all I'm asking.
What did you say you were getting from me? 60? Can't remember.
It's the equivalent of 128 because it's a different codec. So the compression, it gets technical. Compression doesn't always equal the same thing depending on what type of algorithm you use. So some compression algorithms might have a very low bit rate but a high quality because they're a newer compression. Right. And this one is in particular that on that side. So 64k is the equivalent to a 128k MP3. Right.
Is there a way I can change it at this end? Is
no.
there something I can do?
It's to do with WebRTC, which is a protocol that you're using. It's built into your browser.
Can I change browser and get a different protocol?
No, it's the actual. It's like software. It depends on. So if you understand compression, the way to understand compression is like if you got a bunch of computer files and you zip them up, you know what I'm talking about there, right? You can get a whole bunch of Word documents or WAV files and you can zip them up, and all of a sudden those files become smaller in size, right? Or even just one file, you get a WAV file and zip that up, And depending on your compression algorithm, you can actually control how much, you can compress something to the point where it becomes so lossy that you aren't going to, when you uncompress it, you're going to lose a lot of information. So that's how audio, compression works. And like MP3 is pretty old compression algorithms, but it's 90s. It was written in the 90s. So the audio compression algorithms that are out now completely trump the quality of an MP3. So that's just how it works. I'm trying to say it kind of on a layman's sort of terms, do you know what I mean? So it doesn't, we don't sort of start drifting off to sleep.
Sure, but what would I have to do to upgrade at this end? What would I need?
Well, that's what we're saying. We don't really have anything better at the moment. We're looking at using a protocol called Secure Reliable Transport, SRT, which is another type of streaming video and audio. But then we discovered that whoever wrote the SRT platform completely has just, putting the poor cousin of audio into the corner of the room and said, you stay there and we'll deal with you. And video is priority. So it just seems everywhere we look, video is always getting the priority in terms of how much bandwidth that it will take. It will always prioritize video over audio. And what we're saying is we don't want you guys to prioritize video over audio. We think audio should be, a clean, I don't know. I'm not going to say figure because I don't want to ruin it for the world, but it should be like the equivalent of like a 48k WAV file streaming. Do the math. And it doesn't have that much bandwidth to do that. So, and then put your video on top of that. The more the world uses streaming platforms, the more they'll have to start looking at it, because it's more of like a multimedia. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not just doing video and voice now. We're doing video and multimedia. Multimedia is audio. It's actually like, look at Netflix, right? Netflix is really high quality audio. It's like Dolby Atmos, Dolby M, 5.1 THR, whatever that George Lucas thing's called. That is really, really high quality audio because people are watching Netflix on their big screen surround sound stereo systems in their lounge rooms, right? They need that experience. Well, let's take a leaf out of Netflix and say, like, YouTube should be doing the same thing as what Netflix are doing, and they're not. And once we get that message across, the world wants high quality sound. There's no two ways about it. I don't want to sort of harp on that though. It's not really what the stream's about. I kind of much prefer people just to sort of ask any question. Like, Ron, tell us a little bit about your setup. I'm just going to go to the chat window here, Dazza. we've got Ron here. He's jumped in the stream. He's from Texas. Tell us a little bit about your setup, mate. Tell us. You said you had an MPC live. That's awesome. What else have you got hardware wise? And tell us a little bit about your setup. Whether you use whether you record, what DAW do you record into? Are you hardware only? Are you a bit of both? So yeah, tell us a little bit about that, and we can talk about that. That's for sure. It's always good to talk gear, I always think. The sort of music you're into?
Yo. I got rid of the reverb. Hey.
You did? What was it?
Yeah. It was the BR8. I'm running into the BR8, into the montage, into the MX1 to you, which is rather convoluted, but it's because the MX1 won't take a microphone input. The montage won't take a microphone input. I can run a mic in there, but I have to get a separate cable. And I just happen to have this cable set up on the BR8, which I want to do some more videos with soon. So is that sounding better?
It sounds beautiful, but tell us a little bit about now, because I actually haven't really had a good chat to you since you got your MX1. So
I've had a really quiet couple of weeks. Yeah. I've got the MX1 and I got a new camera, the Canon M50. And I'm really excited about both of them, but I'm having trouble integrating them because I'm a bit sort of mental and a bit slow. Whenever I get something new in my fishbowl, it takes me time to incorporate it. And the MX1's really quirky. It's got those 4 USB inputs, and at one point I was trying to get the Boss RC505 sampler to run into one of the USB inputs because it can do that, but then it was sending MIDI clock as well across the USB, and that was upsetting the RD8, which is another new piece of gear that I've been trying to integrate. So I actually just went through a period of just going quiet. I really had to just get away from social media, get away from the pressure to sort of keep up videos. I was actually wondering why am I even making the videos? It just didn't make sense to me anymore. So when I feel like that, I just need time out. It's like recovery time, balance myself, and because my creativity will always come back. It's something that's just always there. It kind of has a flow. It ebbs and it flows, and I sort of just have to ride those waves, because I definitely do get to a point of, well, what's the point of making all these videos? It's just so people sit and stare at their phones all day. Like, that's not really healthy. So I sort of hit a bit of a crisis point. The combination of adding new things in, upsetting my workflow. But I've had a couple of good jams just in the last week where I didn't bother to film. Like, I didn't have to set up cameras, like take that pressure off me, just play music for a couple of hours, and I had things going where I was able to loop into the RC505. That's one of the main things I have to do, is get audio through the MX1 out to the looper and back into the looper while continuously performing and playing.
Yeah,
I think I released a video yesterday just for the sake of putting something out, but I wasn't even going to put that one out. Just because it's a really weird piece of music, but it is what it is. So there you go, and it kind of shows part of who it's who I am as well. There's parts of me in there, but there's definitely things I could have done better with the B-roll, the audio at the end where I come back in talking at the end of my video. It's like way too loud. It's like I just left it. Yeah, to another one.
So just with that, like, I've always been, you probably heard me say this to you before, Dazza. I've always been a firm believer in when you do videos, you're doing them not because you feel that you've been pressured or there's like some grinding sausage factory that you have to pump videos out. I'm the opposite. So if I don't feel like doing a video, I just won't do them. So there's been like, if you look at my live jams, I've only done 4 so far. And the reason why I've only done 4 is because every time I've got close to doing a live jam video, I've thought to myself, no, I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy. If I'm not happy with something, I'm not going to put it out there in the world. Like, I might be okay with it, and it's just for me to muck around with, but for me to actually like broadcast it to the world, I've got to be happy with it to a point where I'm... Even if it's got mistakes, I don't care. It's like being happy. There's a tolerance level of what you're happy with. Do you know what I mean? So
yes, but there's a point where you start worrying about what other people are going to think. So I might be happy with it. I like it. It's quirky, weird, strange, and unusual, and I like it. But the general public, where I've been building momentum with my channel, like I've just noticed you've gone up to 8,000, which is, you've been accelerating, which is awesome. I'm down at like 200 people, but I started to sort of wonder, like, what does my audience think? They're going to hate this. This is rubbish. And like, don't put it out. That kind of fear, anxiety came into it.
Yeah.
And it's hard as an artist to create whatever it is you create, and then put it out, and not be concerned about how others are going to react, especially when you're trying to build momentum, you're trying to build interest. And I've learned a lot more in the last 6 months about how YouTube works, how the internet works. And there's a definite formula you can use to make a successful video. The type of techniques that you're using, Ramsey, are steadily building your channel, and it clearly works. And there's a proven formula for giving value through your videos. And I don't seem to do that. I just make what I make, and that's it. If you want to watch, that's fine. If you don't. But the idea of building momentum and getting bigger has made me more conscious of what I'm putting out in public and how others are going to perceive it. And I actually went through and set a whole bunch of videos to private during the week. I just thought, no, that doesn't need to be up there anymore. So that's about changing how I'm marketing myself, or how, because it is marketing. When you're putting yourself out in public, you're creating an image.
I understand what you're thinking. You're kind of, I get what you're saying. I don't know if it's I'm not going to say it's wrong or right, because I don't think that's the right way to go about it. Because there's no such thing as wrong or right. Now, okay, so the first point you made was like whether people like it or not. Well, there's a point. Being an artist, if you think about all the musicians that are in the world, I guarantee you they have the same thought in their head, whether people are going to like what I've made. And they know, like a smarter musician will know, that there's going to be people that will follow them and there's going to be people that won't. And so I think just be happy the fact that the world, there's going to be indifference. And the fact that there's indifference in the world, like, there's people that have called me fat, there's people that have called me slow. I've had so much negativity, over YouTube. I was being Australian, like, oh, what do you Aussies know? You just like convicts on an island. Like, there's so many things that people say to try and put you down. I don't care. I just like, yeah, what do you care? Like, I had a couple of comments last week and was talking about it in my Facebook group, and I was just sort of venting, and ended up deleting some of them. Like, I don't really mind. Do you know what I mean? Like, it pisses you off for 5 minutes, but then you move on from it. And I think if you kind of... Has the stream crashed? I think it might be your Wi-Fi, mate. It still says it's live. That's just Foxy asking if it's crashed, sorry. I just put his comment up here. Oh, it's crashed for you as well. According to YouTube, it's still running. Okay. It must have been the interwebs. According to YouTube, I haven't had any problems at all. I'm just having a look at the stream health. Yeah, no, it's all good. We're good here. So Dazzle, kind of what I was sort of saying is that when I make a video, I kind of feel that I need to make that. It has a very small element in there about whether it will be successful or not. So obviously I will adopt some of the successful methods of producing that video, and I'm by no means an expert at producing videos at all. But I do adopt, there's a certain way I make my videos. There's a certain layout, there's a certain method. So yeah, that does have a success element in it. But at the same time, that's not really my focus. My focus is, okay, how do I get this out? How do I get the message across that I want to get? And how do I do it in a way that I do sort of deliver the communication message in a way that I know that I'm not pausing too much. I'm, just use all those well-known things, but really about whether they're going to like it or not, I'm not so worried about it. Because if I look back at the likes and the dislikes in my videos, it's really irrelevant. In fact, the way the algorithm works is it's more about views, if you're looking at it from a YouTube point of view, than it is likes and dislikes. Views are what earns YouTube money from the advertising dollars anyway. So I don't know. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. I would be more true to yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're kind of you want to, when you're producing something and it's creative, be true to yourself, and those will follow you. So don't worry too much about numbers. It's hard for me to say because it's like, oh, well, I've got 8,000 followers and you've only got 200. Just ignore that, because really 8,000 is nothing, right? It's actually really not a lot at all. I've got friends who have got 1 million followers on YouTube, and
the perspectives.
It's different perspective. There's people that come in on our stream and they've talked about how it's hard for you to keep up with your loyal members or your loyal subscribers if you've got 8,000 or if you've got 20,000 or 100,000. I definitely agree with that. Like where it's at now, I get close to about 100 comments a day that I'm reading and moderating and replying to. And my rule is I reply to every single comment within reason. If it's a stupid comment, I'll just.
Have you got a filter? Have you got a filter for rude comments?
It moderates. It self-moderates. Yeah, it self-moderates.
Yeah, but you tick that box so if offensive comments are held back so you can review them.
Yeah, it's already built in. But some people say offensive things without using offensive language, so they will actually appear. So don't worry too much about it. I mean, like I said, producing a video. It's interesting to hear you talk. Just get it out. If you feel that it's okay or you like it, then that's where it belongs. It's your baby. You've produced it. And there's definitely videos. I agree with what you said before. There's definitely videos on my channel that I am embarrassed by.
But I look at the. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, you go.
I look at your last couple of videos and I thought they were really good. I really enjoyed watching you use the Blackmagic video mixer. It just seemed to make things flow easier. And I said before, I've got a new camera and I'm trying to integrate this new camera, and it just has totally put me into this position where it's just not clicking. And I've played for hours and it's just not coming together. So I guess it's good to talk about these creative blocks, and this is what happens when you have this kind of a setup and you're trying to keep up with the algorithm. And like you were saying, some of your older videos now look quite daggy and reprehensible.
Yeah, it's interesting though. You brought something up a few weeks ago. I think you commented on one of my early videos, and I actually went and had a look at my live performances. I'll do it in air inverted commas, because those live performances I did earlier, some of them have got some amazing view counts on them, and it's only literally because they've been sitting up there on the internet for so long that it's just over time, it's just gathered views, and some of them are dated back to 2015, so that's 5 years ago, 5-year-old videos, and I look at sort of the videos that I've done recently and they've got low view counts, and I'm just thinking to myself, am I doing something wrong, So I don't want to dwell on that sort of stuff too much because it doesn't matter.
It's also really relative because you're getting way more views than I'm getting. It's almost like a percentage. It's like a percentage of your subscribers get shown the option to click on your video. So your percentage is always going to be a bigger number than what I get. Out of my 200, I'll get 35 views guaranteed on just about any video. Out of your 8,000, I've noticed you get about 350, 400 when you first release a video, which is pretty good numbers.
Well, that's without any social media marketing too. So if I actually want to push a video, I will then start doing social media marketing. And if you're watching, you don't know what that means. That's basically you share that on all the different social media platforms. So you Twitter post, you post it in different groups in Facebook. You might put it on some forums, some website forums. Reddit is another place I use. So that's not the only. So that's and I also have a website as well. There's people literally that actually click on my videos from Google searches from my website. So it's all about the Google algorithm, not necessarily the YouTube algorithm. It's about the Google algorithm as well. And if you want that video to be watched more, then you have to social media market that video. And sometimes you might not be marketing it in the way that you would feel, this is a video of me playing music. Well, who would really be interested in me playing music? It has to be more like, I'm playing with the new Roland MX1 mixer, and this is connected up to an RC505, and I do loop jams, and come check out how I do my loop jams. That to me, that's where you're kind of connecting. It might not be what you personally feel, but that's kind of like you're trying to create a bubble of interest to the people. Yeah.
And interaction, yeah. And that's where all these streaming services are becoming more important, because it'll be done in real time with feedback from the audience. And
yeah.
I mean, people are doing that with chatting. I notice... I
just want to say, Foxy just said, just to cut you off, sorry, mate. Foxy just said, I just put my music up and think, what the hell? But there is a part of me that doesn't like seeing a number down, yeah. And I've only had to, yeah. So that's exactly what we're talking about. It's not bad taste, mate, at all. It's really not. Like, seriously, mate. It's
I'm gonna have a look at your channel now, Foxy.
Yeah.
What have you got up there? Because I get at least 2 downvotes on every video I put out. It's like I've got these 2 people.
You've got the 2 trolls. Yeah. I think we won't talk about who they are. Okay, so we'll keep ourselves private. But you never know. It might be me, Daz. No.
I will find you. I have a very special set of skills.
I get someone who downvotes me every time. And look, there's people that I've burnt on YouTube before. I've burnt them. Like, they've made a nasty comment about something, thinking that they've been helpful, and I've just gone, mate, I'm not going to change. You know, there was one guy who wrote about my live streams a couple of weeks ago, and he said something along the lines of, you waffle on so much, and you didn't get the audio right. Some of the calls were louder than the others, and I'm like, mate, I went to your channel and you've got no videos at all. Have you got any friggin' idea what you're talking about? Like, seriously, the amount of things that I have to do just to do a live stream from here in front of me, and you're commenting about crap like that, and I just burnt him, and I felt good after it. and he's probably the guy that's hitting dislike on every single video I do now because I've burnt him. But do you know what I mean? Like, people have got to be like this content. I'm not getting paid. Like, it's not some massive channel like Fox Network are paying me to make this video right now. You know.
But also, Rand, can I say sometimes you are slow. Sometimes you do waffle on. Sometimes you do get the audio wrong. Yeah. But you know what? This is me. This is who I am. I am Australian. I'm a proud Australian. We're a great country. We're very isolated and removed from the rest of the world. So we have unique ideas and a unique perspective. And we love the equipment. We love the technology. And through this, we're creating a sense of community.
And right? You know what else?
Saturday night.
You know what else?
We know Ramsey will be on.
We can't afford the gear because of our bloody crap dollar. But
we don't get
so
political.
Bad. It is so bad. Like the other day, I was talking about the Polyand tracker. I really want that thing, because it's got the tracker type of thing. You know, back in your Amiga days when you made mod tracks. It's so cool. It's literally right up my alley. And I was looking, waiting for them to put the price up, and then they brought the price, and it's $699 US. And then I looked at how much $699 US is in Australian. It's over $1,000. And the thing is, I know that $699 in US is the equivalent of $699 in Australia. Like, if you live in this country and you live in that country, $700 in a year in America is about the same as me spending $700 here. You can buy the same sort of amount of groceries. You can pay the same sort of amount of rent. You put fuel in your car. It's all relative. But if I was to buy the tracker, I have to pay $1,000 instead of $699, and I find that completely. To me, it's a scam. I think it's a scam.
And we have to be mindful that there are countries who've got it far worse than we do. We're actually doing okay, but I definitely look at my American compadres in the Facebook and YouTube groups, and these guys. I wonder, how do these guys get the equipment? Like, how do you have all of that gear? Like,
they can afford it.
I can't do it. And it's like, oh no, just swap that out and got this. And like, well, how did you do that? Like, you seem to be living in a barn, Charles, in the middle of like Ohio or somewhere. Like, how are you doing that, dude?
Yeah. And the thing is, technically it costs us 30% more for everything. And then we've got this thing called GST that they chuck on the top. And then you've got freight. So it is pretty expensive. I'm not whinging, for the sake of... hearing my voice, but it is really expensive to be a musician in Australia. It really is. So when you look at us, and we've got gear here,
and then they,
they
shut down. And then they shut down your ability to perform live. My restaurant has been closed down that I used to perform in, right? So we can't even really make money unless we're selling things online, downloads and so forth, and offering sessions to people.
Just give me a sec. Just give me a sec. Keep talking, Dazza. I'm going to close my door because I've got noise.
Can I play music?
Yeah.
I can just jam. Let's do the jam and live thing. What's a good sound?
Okay, I'm back.
Just random patterns. I'm not sure what's going on here. I've got so many presets here. I just don't know which ones are good ones or what.
You know what though? It's sounding so much better. I have to say, it is sounding so much better. So, no matter how quirky you think that MX1 is, that sound that you're getting now is better. There's a bit of magic, by the way, that comes out the back of an MX1. They've got that. What is it called? The mastering level, and you've got actually different mastering algorithms that you can choose in it. And Roland aren't stupid. They've always, even their synths, even like go as far back as the D50 and the Junos, they always put a bit of beef. I always call it beef. They put a bit of beef or a bit of oomph on their outputs, and whether it is that they've got whether they've got some sort of capacitor type filter bank or something on there, or some sort of EQing electronics in their old gear. Now they're doing it digitally, and like that mastering thing on the MX1, it's actually beautiful. It sounds so good. Right. So Ron is saying the audio quality is not bad. So there you go. And that's coming through. So just so you guys know, I want to show you guys this. So that is coming through. How do I show it? So what Daz is doing there is he's calling into me through this protocol called WebRTC. It's a special, video call type protocol. There's definitely a stack of compression going on with his audio. And I said before it's 64K. Now that is about the best I can get it. So you'll hear it kind of sort of warble. So if I just shut up and he plays, you'll hear what I mean. Yeah, it's not bad. That's definitely not bad. I actually think it's barely passable in terms of being like clear, but it's definitely not bad. Like you wouldn't be able to demonstrate a product and say like let's check out this and we're going to make a decision about whether we're going to buy something from that. No, it's not that. But if you just want to muck around, I think it's not bad. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I'll have to listen to that playback later on to check that out. So that's the montage going into the MX1. You were saying about the volume on the MX1 being quite loud. I've had a bit of a problem with that. I think you would have seen a post on Facebook where the speaker actually, the mount around the speaker actually tore on the first session. It was just pumping out so much volume that I wasn't actually expecting. I've had to put my speakers right down to like their lowest level. My MSP7s are on 1 to compensate, and I had real trouble getting a strong signal going in and coming out of the computer. It was that was one of the biggest hassles I had to adjust with this setup. With the DJ mixer, it was pretty straightforward, despite its faults. The audio used to go in and come back out, but with this one, I've had to work out where the input gains are and get them up on each channel. And I got the digital converter. Is there a special cable that I need for the coaxial? Is that got to be? That's not just an RCA cable coming out of there. Do you know? Can I use just a normal mono RCA cable?
No, you need Yeah, you need a
proper
coaxial.
coaxial cable.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I have to order
Yeah. Now let's see if I can get my audio to work. So this is that jam I did.
Yeah.
So what can
that's
I
just
do?
that's just
straight
a WAV
out of the back of the
from-
MX1. Now let me get my thing up. Alright, I'm going to share this. So this is the ATEM software control. And we'll try and get the audio a bit better. So we want the reds to kind of peak at about minus 3 decibels. Yeah, that should be alright. Alright, we've got that audio right now, so now we can go back to maybe sort of doing that. We can change camera angles. So what's that coming out like, that sound? Is that pretty clear? I'll do a filter sweep. Anyway, bit of a show on how that all works. Let me go back to my other screen. Lost my screen. Bing, there we go. What did the chatties think of that? Sounds good?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. If we can do more of this stuff, if we play, like, let's chat more music. But yeah, that was the jam that I did. It's on my channel, so you can go watch that. I don't need to play it again. It's all pre-recorded and sequenced, and then I just ad lib, you know, a few instruments over the top. So it might be the Strike Fet that I'm playing. And good thing about the MPC Live, I can change through MIDI. The setup of the MIDI, I can change instruments, and that key step will play that. So here's something that's really cool. Watch this. So I'll go back to my ATEM setup. If I go to this camera angle here, I can set this to a keyboard track, and I'll just turn off the... Is that coming through? Oh no, it's not coming through. Hang on. I've got to turn the audio on. Here we go. You guys will recognise this. Bit of Jean-Michel Jarre from Zuluk. So there you go. I can actually just play samples, and which I think is pretty cool.
Do some more of that. Yeah, we want more of that. That was really, we're enjoying this. Can you put some bass? Chuck in some bass. Get the peak going. Yeah. Maybe drop some elements out, and then let that other thing be more of a feature. The samples.
That bass is this sub 37.
What's the filter like on that?
There you go.
Sounds really good. Yeah.
The only problem with doing it this way is I'm getting a delay, so I can't actually play unless I put the other headphones on.
We're not hearing that though.
Hang on a sec, I have to put these on. It's so that's just a key. That's just a keyboard track in the MPC, and you can put any sample in that, and it will chromatically play. That's why I love the MPC Live. It's just the best. See what the chatties are saying.
So were you able to hear my...
Oh, hang on, I've just lost your audio. Why did that happen? Why did I just lose your audio?
Hear me?
Yeah, I
Hello?
can hear you. I just lost your audio then. I don't know why. That was weird.
I'm here. Check.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
People are really getting into it. They really enjoyed that, and so did I. Honestly, sounds really good. Very nice. Getting into it. Yeah.
So that was just to show you what 320k sounds like. That's 320k.
Thanks, Ron. I need this. I need a SPDIF cable.
Thanks, thanks, Ron, and thanks, Foxy, as well. That was awesome. But that's just so you guys know what 320k 320k sounds like. Because 320k it's an MP3 320k too. It's not anything else. Is actually not bad. It's not unusable. It is loss. It is compressed, but it's not bad. If you're live streaming, why can't we have, like, Daz's connection to me should be 320k, but it's not. It's half. It's 128. So yeah, it is good. If you do want to hear that track, by the way, and you want to see me play it, I mean, it's hard doing a stream and that at the same time. There is a video on my channel called Jam Number 4, and you go check it out later. What have we been streaming now for about an hour and a half? So yeah, it's been good to catch up with you too, Daz. I really did miss you, mate. It's awesome. Thanks, mate. that you're back.
I've had a couple of quiet weeks, but I have been following along. I've been following the Saturday night sessions when I can catch up with them. I'm about halfway through the last one.
Yeah, so and I think honestly, if we can, all of us, even guys in the chat, if we can all sort of regularly catch up with each other, in this way, even if it's like it's a little bit like lecturer and student with the chatties. I know it can be a bit annoying that you guys don't really get much of a voice. You get a text voice, but it's better. It's better than nothing. I'm actually happy for any of you guys to jump in and be like Dazza. He's calling in, and all you need is a web browser, a webcam, and a microphone. And you don't need to have a massive setup. But most of us musicians have some sort of hardware. Like Ron, you were saying, you've got you've got an MPC Live. You could actually connect your MPC Live up as an audio interface to your machine, to your PC or to your Mac, and use that. We need to do this more often. This time zone is something that I've always wanted to do. I put a post up, Daz might remember, a few months ago, wanting to see if if that sort of time zone would work. And I don't know about the choice of day. Like, I mean, at the moment, days aren't really important, is it? Because we're all sort of not working. But going forward into the future when we're all back to work. But yeah, I think I'd like to do some sort of early morning one for my time. It's early morning, not early morning, almost lunchtime here now. See, where Dazza is, he's on the other side of my country, and it's 3 hours difference, which is quite a lot. So he's in his early afternoon over there, and I'm still in the morning here. And so this is what it's very, very difficult for me to pick a time that gets people. So it's a lot more extra work for me to do 2 streams, but I'm happy to do it, especially during this lockdown. I think it's worth it. I think try and get people together, give someone something other than just watching Netflix or, I don't know, scrolling on Facebook. Who's been doing that? Seriously, you get your phone and you're just sitting there and you just scroll on Facebook because you're bored out of your brain. Like, that's what work gives us. It gives us that escape from, we sometimes don't like work, but that gives us that escape. But yeah, like you're scrolling on Facebook where you're starting to get RSI on your thumb, repetitive strain injury. Dazza, what have you been doing, mate? I don't have a phone,
so I don't have that problem. I get mouse finger though, definitely. I've had RSI up my arm. That's part of why I stopped using software synthesizers, because I just kept pushing the machines faster than they're made to go. You don't seem to have had any notes for today, whereas normally on a Saturday night you'd have notes and it's very structured and organised. I really like the idea of that, of having it loose and just interactive, and we can just throw ideas around. And we're all about the music, so let's create the music. The jamming that we just did today I just really enjoyed that. I don't know if you could hear me playing saxophone the last time you were just playing.
Yeah, it was good.
So. We can mash things together like that as long as one person is doing the rhythm and the other's doing the melody. I'm really curious to listen back to that. I'll have a look at the playback when it goes up to see were we in sync, because the way I was experiencing it was all in time, but it might not have ended up like that.
And we can have another crack at doing that again and basically we can, come up with a bit of an idea offline, and then stream, and we can do it. Definitely.
Sure. But don't be afraid of not having structure and just allowing it to unfold. And it's as much about just having company and being able to hang out. To me, this is really good value. I was excited to see that you're on during the daytime, and I have really had trouble staying up for the late night.
I know you have. Yeah, and look, I'll be honest. A part of this was, it was really just to see who I'd get. It's very, very low numbers at the moment, but if I do a few more of these, you'll get more people.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not after big numbers either. I'm only after, maybe 20 concurrent viewers. So just to give you a bit of stats, I've only had 16 viewers, which is pretty low. So, but that's understandable. It's the first time I've streamed at this time of the day. So,
China's in this same time zone. Could you imagine how big your audience could be if you were to tap into the Chinese market?
I know, but I don't speak Mandarin, and they don't have.
You don't need to. They're all learning English.
Yeah, but a lot of them aren't allowed to use YouTube. They're not allowed to use YouTube.
They're obsessed. Yes, but isn't that what's that new one that's come out? Twitch or what's it called? The stupid one where they do silly dances. That's Chinese-owned social media.
TikTok.
TikTok, yeah, that's Chinese, right? So that will go straight into the country, right?
Yeah.
I haven't gone there yet. I don't really want to. I'm happy with the social media I've got, but at some point I will.
There's conspiracy theories about TikTok. It's the same as the conspiracy theories about Hawaii owning your 5G network. It's those same conspiracy theories.
But yeah, you can be sure that China's going to be controlling any social media that they're involved in, and they'll be harvesting information.
Oh, look, what we're doing.
For sure.
What we're doing is completely, PG. Under PG even G. So it'd be fine. Yeah. And I don't care who watches this. It's really just it's just a creative. It's a creative channel with a bit of a tech flair. That's all it is. So yeah, it's awesome though. I'm going to have to go though because my wife just got back from shopping. I don't know about you guys where you are in the world, but we're allowed out if we want to go grocery shopping, if we need to go to the doctor, and if we want to exercise. But if we want to go out, we're only allowed no more than 2 people at a time. And if you want to exercise, you're only allowed to exercise with one other person. And yeah, so pretty much, or if you go to work too, there's people that obviously have to go to work still. But yeah, so basically what we're doing in this house is we're limiting our trips out to sort of limit the exposure to the world, to other people, and just try and get through this. I think social distancing is definitely the key. The less we, where you live, Dazza, you're in a country town. It's very low amount of people there, and if you just you just go to the shop to get your food and you're laughing.
I rarely interact with anyone if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
So nothing's changed for me.
Yeah.
It's actually played in my favour.
I think I'm hoping that. Look, my guess is, and I don't have any medical knowledge or anything, but my guess is by September we should be well and truly through this. September is my guess.
Oh.
It may be a lot sooner than that, especially for the Northern Hemisphere, because they're starting to come into the summer months now, about to hit. Well, they're in spring now. So, but I definitely think, if it's going to be earlier than September, it'll be cool. But I think if we don't have a vaccination by then, or if we don't have that social distancing and the lockdown hasn't cured the virus from us, then I think September we should be fine. And it's a long time. For us it's 6 months, but I think people in the Northern Hemisphere will start seeing. Hopefully, you'll start seeing that curve drop down. But I'm really, really actually scared for people living in the US at the moment. You guys it's going crazy over there. So I don't know what needs to happen. They really need to take notice of this social distancing thing. That it's serious. I don't think people realise how serious it is. I think that, especially the younger generation, I think they think they're invincible. Don't you, Dazza? I think they think that, it's just a flu virus, I'll get through it. But the thing is, it's not just about them catching it and getting through it. It's about them catching it and then giving it to someone else. That's what it's about. So, yeah. The Texas heat, yeah. Yeah, Ron's saying the Texas heat. Roland's saying the Texas heat. So that's what we've got in Australia. We had the heat, and still, even up to now, I don't know what it's like, Daz, over your part of Australia, but it's still reasonably warm here where I live. It's still in the late 20s Celsius. So what's that in Fahrenheit? It's 27 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit is 80 degrees. So it's 80 degrees Fahrenheit here where I currently am today. So it's quite a nice day, and it's definitely not the Texas heat. But don't forget, we're heading into autumn and about to hit winter here where we are in the southern hemisphere. Daz, what temperature is at your side?
It's like 24 today, 22.
So it's quite cool.
It's just mild, yeah. Yeah, sun's out. I've walked the dog and been down the shops. I was thinking about getting a haircut. I just saw a thing about 30 minutes is the limit of a haircut or something like that. Maybe I'm better off just hanging back and not worrying about it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd just be careful in the shops. You notice people are giving each other distance, and there are a lot of changes to our local shops where you can't go in the shop, or only 2 people can be in the shop at a time. And everyone's sort of been notified, and they're all cooperating, which is good to see. If anything, I think it brings people a little bit more together, a little bit more community-minded. In a rural area, everyone has to sort of look out for each other, which is good. And I actually think we'll come through this a lot stronger. I think there's going to be a couple of major changes happening this year. Imagine what would happen if they shut down the internet for 3 days while everyone's locked in. I think it will bring people to a real point of introversion and having to think about how they're feeling, rather than being distracted constantly by internet, phone, radio, television, all the things that take our minds away from just being present, feeling our feelings, and being comfortable within ourselves without requiring external stimulation. I think that's really important, and I think moving forward, those are things are going to be part of it.
We as musicians, we're quite used to this though. So musicians, we're quite introverted when it comes to our creative side, and then we kind of almost have a split personality when we're in performance. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So we kind of, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying that's actually it's like one of our little superhero traits that we
can be really, really insecure and introverted, but also can be really extroverted and social at the same time.
And we can switch. And that's the cool thing. It's like a superhero trait.
Definitely.
And I think, because we've got the ability to be really creative, and this has just given us even more opportunity. As long as we've got some sort of financial stability, hopefully wherever you are in the world, you've got some sort of financial backing, whether it be from like a social welfare or whether you've got a job still, whatever. I hope that's your case. If you are having trouble with money, please reach out to whoever you need to, just to make sure don't feel like you're on your own, because there's definitely ways you can get help. But if we're still able to keep the power on and turn the computer on and turn our hardware gear on, and we can keep being creative, I think it's really, really important that we keep doing that. And I'll definitely do. I don't know when I'm going to do this again. Probably whether I do another one this week, but I'll definitely do one next week. I think that's, while we've got this quietness, I can afford to do this during the day. Definitely do it again. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up because I've been going now for about nearly 2 hours, and I think talking about waffling on.
That's great.
Thanks for coming in, mate. It was awesome.
I've really enjoyed your company. Thank you. You've inspired me to do a little bit more work and get a couple more videos out. I have been jamming during the week, and it's kind of good, but it wasn't quite there, but it's getting closer. I'm always having to program things. I like the way you're using the Ableton Live there. Is it the Force or the Live? I can't remember. As your main sequencer. Yeah. I'm still relying on the Zaquencer here, and I kind of like the Zaquencer, but every now and then I get it doesn't send a note off message, and particularly the Volca Beats.
It's got problems.
Or the Novation Bass Station. Yeah. So I'm living with it at the moment. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Oh, that's good, man. And anyway, I'll end the stream. Yeah. Foxy, I wish I could send you some money, mate. But yeah.
And Ron's in Texas.
And Ron's in Texas. But look, right. reach out to your local, government if you are struggling, mate. I know you're still working, but just do whatever you can. Anyway, it's nice of you all. Thanks, Ron and Foxy, for joining us, and we'll see you guys. We'll just say goodbye. We'll see you guys hopefully next week at this time.
All right, man. Thanks for the chat.
Don't forget to come in on Saturday 2 p.m. is my normal stream. See you later.
2 p.m.
UTC time. 2 p.m. UTC.
Okay. All right.
All right. See ya.
All right. See you, bro. Have a good day. Righto.